I'm Sofia Nazarenko, and this is Channel 24. War crimes, missile diplomacy, shifting alliances. Here's what you need to know right now. U.S. Special Envoy Steven Witkoff is expected to visit Moscow this weekend. The news was confirmed by U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker, who recently said the trip could lead to progress on a potential ceasefire in Ukraine. The Moscow visit will follow Witkoff's stop in Israel, where he traveled alongside U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee. The two visited a humanitarian aid distribution center in Rafah in southern Gaza, operated by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an American constructor backed by both U.S. and Israeli governments. Witkoff recently announced that U.S. administration and the Israeli government are jointly working on a new plan to end the war in Gaza. A major fire broke out early Sunday morning at a Rosneft oil depot in the Russian city of Sochi, after what officials say was a Ukrainian drone strike. Regional Governor Veniamin Kondratyev said the drone debris hit a fuel tank in the Adler district, setting it on fire. The tank had a capacity of 2,000 cubic meters. Russia's emergency services say only one tank is currently burning, likely part of Rosneft Kubaneft product facility. The attack also disrupted flights at Sochi airport. Authorities activated an emergency airspace lockdown, delaying dozens of arrivals and departures. President Vladimir Putin is once again threatening Ukraine and Europe, this time with deployment of long-range Oreshnik hypersonic missiles in Belarus. During a joint visit with Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, Putin announced that Russia has started serial production of new hypersonic missiles and selected launch sites on Belarusian territory. Preparations are underway and deployment is expected by the end of this year.
We have produced the first serially manufactured Oreshnik system, the first serial missile. It has been delivered to the troops. Now the production line is up and running. That's the first point. Second, our specialists and Belarusian military specialists have selected a site for future positions. Preparatory work is ongoing, and most likely we will be done with it before the year's end.
Russia first used Oreshnik missiles in a November 2024 strike on the Ukrainian city of Dnipro, calling it a successful test. Nuclear threats have been central to Putin's war language, and now he claims these new missiles deliver a strike comparable to a tactical nuclear attack. According to the U.S. defense analysts at the Institution for Study of War, Putin and Lukashenko are using these statements to send a message to Donald Trump, hoping to signal that no amount of sanctions or military aid will change the course of this war.
ISW assessed at the time of Russia's first Oreshnik launch in November 2024 that Russia is leveraging the Oreshnik system as part of a reflexive control campaign aimed at undermining Western resolve to support Ukraine militarily. Putin's and Lukashenko's August 1st statements about Oreshniks are similarly trying to posture military strength to convince Trump not to follow through with his threat of economic repercussions.
Donald Trump's ultimatum to Vladimir Putin to end the war expires on the 8th of August. Just 5 days left, and the Kremlin isn't backing down. Putin's demand for ceasefire have remained unchanged since June 2024. They include a full withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia regions, a binding commitment that Ukraine will never join NATO, and the establishment of a permanent, neutral, non-aligned and non-nuclear status for the whole country. But Ukraine was officially non-aligned in 2014, and that didn't stop Russia from invading Crimea. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy says Putin isn't serious about long-term peace.
My sober assessment is that Putin is not ready to seriously negotiate. He still has maximalist and imperialist ambitions. The battle Ukraine has fought, with UK, European, and American support, is immense. I suspect that in a year's time, talks will be going on. The question is how serious Russia is about those talks.
And Ukrainian military intelligence chief Kyrylo Budanov warns Russia is preparing for something even bigger. According to Budanov, Moscow has launched its largest rearmament program since the 1980s, allocating $1.1 trillion to prepare for a possible war with NATO by 2030. Poland rapidly increasing its tank fleet and could have more tanks by 2030 than the UK, Germany, France and Italy combined. Defense Minister Vladislav Kosiniak-Kamysh has announced €6.5 billion deal to buy 180 South Korean K2 tanks. The deal also includes the local production of 61 K2 PL tanks, a Polish version built in the country. First deliveries are expected within 2 years, and the minister called the agreement the beginning of tank manufacturing revival in Poland. Poland is currently the only one European country spending 4.7% of its GDP on defense. Once the deal is completed, Warsaw could outpace the NATO allies with an estimated fleet over 1,100 combat-ready tanks. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more updates.